If you're a fan of the classic fall flavor combination of apples and cinnamon, you have come to the right place because in today's video, we are making 3 quick, easy, healthy, and grab-and-go friendly apple cinnamon recipes for breakfast. Our first recipe is apple cinnamon oatmeal. This recipe is vegan, gluten-free, and comes together in 15 minutes from start to finish. We'll start by chopping an apple into small bite-sized cubes. I'm using a Honey Crisp apple, but any kind of apple would work here. I like to keep the skin on for extra fiber, but if you want, you can peel it off. Then we'll chop up a 1/4 cup of pecans for some crunch. I'm using pecans, but any nuts, walnuts, almonds, whatever you have on hand would work. Just make sure that they're unsalted. Next, we'll grab a small saucepan, add a teaspoon of coconut oil, and set it over medium heat. Once the oil is melted, we'll add in the chopped apples along with 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and a pinch of nutmeg. We'll saute the apples until they're softened, which should take about 2 to 3 minutes. After that, we'll add the chopped nuts, a cup of old-fashioned rolled oats, 2 cups of unsweetened almond milk, a tablespoon of maple syrup, and a teaspoon of chia seeds. And then we'll bring that to a boil. We're using almond milk here, but feel free to use any other plant-based milk or regular milk, whatever you have on hand. As it cooks, we'll stir it a few more times. The oatmeal should start thickening up nicely in about 7 to 10 minutes. Once it's ready, we'll ladle it into bowls and top it off with some fresh or dried fruit and a few more pecans. Dry raisins, cranberries, or even pomegranate seeds will all be great options. Of course, a drizzle of maple syrup would not hurt either. Our next recipe is apple cinnamon chia pudding with yogurt. This is a recipe that you can put together the night before and have it ready in the morning. Again, it takes no longer than 10 minutes to make. To start, we'll grab a grater and grate an apple. Now, you can certainly chop up your apple into small cubes, but I like the fact that when you grate it, you get an apple with every bite. Plus, it makes the chia pudding sweeter. Then we'll add that into a medium-sized bowl along with a cup of unsweetened plain yogurt, a cup of almond milk, a 1/4 cup of chia seeds, a tablespoon of maple syrup, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and a 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We'll give it a good stir, cover it with the lid, and let it sit in the fridge for at least 4 hours or even overnight. In the morning, it should be nice and thickened. You can serve it in a bowl right away or transfer it into jars if you're making it as a part of your weekly meal prep. Serve it with some chopped walnuts, your favorite granola, or a drizzle of maple syrup for a quick, easy, and healthy full breakfast. Our final recipe is apple cinnamon baked oatmeal. This is a great recipe if you want to treat your family on a lazy weekend morning. It has a similar profile of an apple pie, but without all the extra calories and sugar. It's also gluten and dairy free. We'll start by preheating our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 degrees Celsius. While the oven is heating up, we'll coat an 8 by 8 inch baking dish with a teaspoon of coconut oil or avocado oil and set that aside. Then we'll work on the dry ingredients. Into a bowl, add 2.5 cups of old-fashioned rolled oats, a tablespoon of chia seeds, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Again, set that aside. Moving on to wet ingredients. In another bowl, we'll add 2 large eggs, 1.5 cups of unsweetened almond milk, a cup of unsweetened applesauce, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and 1/3 cup of maple syrup. We'll give it a good whisk to make sure everything is fully combined. Now, if you want this recipe to be vegan, you can use flax eggs, which are made by whisking together 2 tablespoons of ground flax seeds with 5 tablespoons of water. Once it thickens, in about 10 minutes or so, you can use it in the recipe in place of eggs. Next, we'll pour the egg mixture into the oat mixture and stir it all together until everything is well mixed. Into that bowl, we'll then add a diced apple along with a cup of chopped walnuts or pecans. And if you're feeling fancy, 1/2 cup of chopped dates for a bit more sweetness. We'll gently fold everything in so that the apples, nuts, and dates are evenly distributed throughout the mixture. We'll then pour the mixture into our prepared baking dish and spread it out evenly. We'll pop that in the oven and bake it for 35 to 40 minutes until it is golden brown and set. At first, it might look like it needs to bake a bit more, but keep in mind that it will continue to bake as it sits. We'll let that cool for about 10 minutes on the countertop. Meanwhile, we'll make a quick vanilla yogurt by mixing together a cup of plain unsweetened yogurt with half a teaspoon of vanilla extract and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup or honey. Now, I like to drizzle mine with something creamy on top, but if you're feeling fancy, you can also use whipped cream or a few tablespoons of almond or peanut butter for some extra protein. To serve, we'll cut up a slice and drizzle it with the yogurt topping we made earlier.
This is so yummy.
If you have some leftovers, you can bring them to room temperature, place in an airtight container, and store them in the fridge for up to 3 days. Later, you can pop it into a low-heat oven to reheat or enjoy it cold for a delicious fall-inspired grab-and-go breakfast. There you have it, friends. I hope you treat your family to these delicious apple and cinnamon recipes this fall. We put all of these recipes in a free book. The link is in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Are making flax eggs. I was doing so well. Your own apple? How many apples are we having?